welcome to my YouTube channel. My name is Angel, aka the Angelic Muse. I'm an intuitive tarot reader as well as a certified Reiki practitioner here on YouTube, back with another pick a card for you guys. So, as you can see from the title, this is just based on self-care, inner healing, inner work that needs to be done, what it is that may need to be improved on, or, just simply highlighted for you to just take notice of within your self-care practice or your self-care journey. So, without further ado, I'm going to get into these piles here. So we have 3 for you all to choose from. So for your first pile, we have this black obsidian female silhouette. For pile 2, we have African Bloodstone female silhouette. And then for pile 3, we have the Turquoise female silhouette. So, first of all, my hands are mad shaky because I was trying not to drop them. So, if you moves like this, don't mind it. Anyway, so I'm going to have all the timestamps linked down below so you can just jump right over to your pile. If you want to take the time now so that you can meditate on which one you gravitate towards, you and your intuition agree on, whether it's one or all 3 is entirely up to you. And if it's none, then that just means it simply isn't a reading for you. However, I do hope you come back for another one. All the decks that I'm using will be down below as well, and then all of my links if you'd like to book a personal session with me or just connect with me outside of this here platform. All of that will be linked down below as well. So without further ado, I thank you all so much for being here, and let's get into your reading. Hey pile 1, welcome to your reading. So if you chose the black obsidian crystal or silhouette, oh, I told y'all these things are so small, I'll be thinking they're going to slip out my hands. Here's your reading. So, we're going to start out with your tarot first, actually, and then I'm going to get into your oracle. It's a lot of oracle cards, so this is about to be filled. Anyway, so I actually went ahead and did 2 piles. So, one pile for the tarot is going to show how you're going about your self-care journey, and the other one is going to give, like, insights or suggestions on how you could, like, potentially tweak that. So, your first pile, we have the Knight of Cups. Then we have the 5 of Cups. And then we have the 10 of Swords. Okay, so the first word that came to my mind when I saw the Knight of Cups, like the way that it's facing away from the 5 of Cups, is avoidant. So you may be the type who's very avoidant when it comes to your emotions. Maybe you're the type to like kind of just push them to the wayside and just try to grind it out or focus on what it is that needs to be done without really taking care of yourself. However, the 5 of Cups typically speaks of like some sort of loss or just like being regretful or remorseful about something. So there may be something in particular that you are avoiding that could be it could just be like something really big and like pivotal in your life that you seem to not want to touch on, or like it's too emotional for you. But what ends up happening when you avoid this thing or these things or experiences is you end up leading to a burnout. With this 10 of Swords, things end up feeling a lot worse than, or even maybe you may think that they're a lot worse than they are on paper or like in the grand scheme of things. You just don't really know how to go about maneuvering through these emotions, through these experiences, traumas, adversities, whatever the case may be. And it's almost as if you force yourself to do that. It's not like you're so deep down, it doesn't feel like, because the Knight of Cups, and he's upright. So in his rightful element, and you don't have to be a man, you could be a woman, but they're still the most feminine and the most emotionally intact Knight out of all the others. Very in tune with their emotions. So if that's naturally how you would like to be, and you kind of force yourself out of that element into a whole different being, it gives on like this persona of someone. I feel like you're the type, you look good to other people. You're not the type that people think anything is wrong with. Like you handle your shit and it looks good, and it's like, oh, Pod One ain't got no worries, like she's good, he's good, whatever. But you're not. Deep down inside, you're not. You literally tend to take things to the extreme. That's just what I'm picking up here. Not like you lash out or anything, but when it comes to your emotions, you have so much built up inside that I feel like what this is saying is that it kind of tends to boil over. You may have like crying spells, or like maybe you are like high functioning depression, like something of that nature. You don't have to be, but that's just something that came to my mind. Someone who just outwardly like gets shit done, goes to work, picks up the kids, cooks, cleans, whatever the case may be, does all the things, but when you go to lay down at night, all of that just comes crashing back down on you, no matter how much you try to avoid it during the day or whatever, during whatever moment you're in. That is what I'm picking up on for the way you do handle your self-care, the way you handle your emotions, the way you handle your losses or your setbacks or whatever the case may be. Now I'm going to get into the way that it's being suggested in a minute. However, I just want you to maybe, before I get into that, just kind of check in with yourself and be honest with yourself. If this is how you know, handle your issues or your problems, and ask yourself if that's something you really want for yourself in the long run. We got to think long term here. And if, you know, you are the type who wants to build a family or has children, or if you already have these things, even if you don't, you know, everything you are is energy, and you kind of pass that on to other people, whether it be knowingly or unknowingly. And deep down inside, whether or not you are outwardly displaying that to other people, it will start to trickle out and show, if you know, because with this Ten of Swords, like that is like the end of the swords journey. It's the worst one. It's the one where all of the knives are sticking in, or swords are sticking in the person's back. And it's just like it all comes crashing down. So eventually I do get the feeling that one day this is going to come out in a different way, and it won't look so put together for you. However, this is your suggestion. So you got the King of Wands, the Knight of Pentacles. Let me move these over a little bit. And then your last one is the Three of Pentacles. Okay, so look, there's always a way to like reverse things and fix things. There's always a problem, but there's always a solution too. So with the King of Wands, Knight of Pentacles, and Three of Pentacles, I feel like this is automatically saying take your power back. Utilize your resources that you do have. And think more practical about even the emotional aspects, or how it is that you get things done. You don't have to go about it in an you don't have to face your issues that are emotional in an emotional way. You can actually put some logic behind them. I'm thinking about the Knight of Pentacles and how he's not moving, he's stabilized, he doesn't mind taking that pause moment to like be analytical about whatever it is, the situation. And he's facing the Three of Pentacles. I feel like the King of Wands is just the overarching energy, like that's the embodiment that you already have here. Like you outwardly look King of Wands, like you get shit done. Like it's like you're actually being yourself though, in a way. You're being your full authentic self. Like King of Wands is very like fiery and like take charge and take action. Let's get this problem out the way. Like we're not going to harp on this anymore. We're going to get it done. You know, just fast thinking. But Knight of Pentacles is that where it slows down. So while you may be rushy over here, just like, okay, I'm just going to ignore it, let me just rush past it. This is being powerful in your own right, but slowing down when you need to. Actually saying, okay, what needs to be done here? What resources can I take part in or utilize, whether it be therapy, whether it be having a strong support system, whether it be journaling, whether it be meditation, whether it be taking a walk. That's a way to slow down. But I think journaling would help a lot of you, just writing down your feelings so that they're not stuck inside of your head the whole time. That is a great start, I think, for this pile, because again, it feels like you don't want to face your emotions at all. So maybe you don't want to tell anybody. Maybe you're like embarrassed of the things that you feel, or you feel like they're not that deep. But in reality, maybe you compare yourself to other people where you're like, oh, well, it could be worse. Like, and it's like, no, don't do that to yourself. Don't. And I mean, I'm not here to tell you what to do. You can do what you want at the end of the day. But I feel like you're here for a reason. It's because you want some insight. So I would not recommend that myself personally. I've been there before where you kind of just bottle things up. I've been there. I know that feeling. And it's not conducive in the long run. And again, we're thinking long term here. And, you know, it's just crazy because you got knights in both patterns here. But you got the king in the one where it's like the suggestion. It's like you're still in this learning phase. And it's okay to be in this learning phase. You don't have to jump into like this I know everything about myself, or I know it all, I know how to do this type energy. It's okay to ask for help. It's okay to say, I cannot do this on my own. You know, whether you pray about it, whether you, like I said, journal about it, or even just kind of just walk it off or take this slow down. But I feel like a lot of you don't take time out for yourself. You don't take time out to really get to know yourself. You know what it is that you want to do, maybe, but I mean like on a more intimate level, on those, like when it comes to shadow work, maybe you're the type you don't really like to get into it because you're like, it's going to draw back all these emotions and these memories and things like that. But that can be relieving. Like, instead of, just think of like you're like a can of soda that's shaken up that you don't want to open. That's what I'm getting. It really, really feels like that for this pile. You want to really take charge, take your, even if it comes down to asking someone like, hey, what did you do to get out of this? And tweaking it in your own way that works for you. But just, it's a suggestion. It's a start. Just starting somewhere. And the thing about the Three of Pentacles is, like, typically in the Rider-Waite, you know, it's two people consulting someone else or looking to someone else for guidance. So whether this is something like related to a relationship or partnership or friendship or whatever the case may be, we can get really specific on that. However, I don't really want to because it's a general reading. However, I will say if it is in reference to like a partnership or something like that's that avoidant Five of Cups energy. If you can go into it with the person involved, that would be great. However, I will say don't necessarily wait on someone else to get your healing done. Don't push it to the back or to the wayside just because they're not on the same page as you. Do your healing work and get it. And at the end of the day, either someone's going to catch up with you or they're not. But don't hold yourself hostage to your own feelings and emotions for the sake of someone else or for the sake of being with someone else. I just wanted to say that part. So, now I'm going to get into your oracle cards. It's a lot of them for each pile. I pulled 3 for each like deck that I use, and I use like 4 decks, I think. So, we're going to start out with the big ones. So, it says support your physical body. The current state of your physical self-care significantly affects the current state of your intuitive abilities. Whether your health is robust, you're recovering from an injury, or you're managing a chronic condition, be a protective steward of the vessel that houses your sixth sense. Your body requests more support or attention now. So again, this goes back to what I was thinking when I was saying like walking or just simply exercising. That is a way of like just sweating it out and just getting it out will definitely play a part in your healing journey as well. Like just being able to move your body, not being so stagnant in it. You know, just simply taking a walk, no headphones, no nothing, and just like an air walk where you're listening to the birds, the trees, the air, things like that. It creates a more in tune, I don't want to say aesthetic, but like just embodiment. Like you're like kind of aware of your surroundings more, aware of how your body's feeling. You don't have a choice but to pay attention to what is going on in that moment. And again, I feel like this pile is very avoidant, and you use distractions to kind of get away from the problem. And that is not, again, it's not conducive, okay? So, and again, like this says, no matter what your health is, it doesn't matter. So movement is movement regardless. It's beneficial to anybody, even the healthiest person, even bodybuilders, even people who go to the gym every day. They keep going for a reason. Why? Because it's good health. So if this is something that has been coming to your mind, you want to get in tune with that. Eating right is also a big thing too. Make sure that what you're eating is not like low energy, low vibrational, or like just it's not, it's making you feel bad, it's making you feel stuck. That's even habits too. If you're drinking a lot, if you're smoking a lot, if you're doing too much of anything isn't good. You can do things in moderation and that's fine, but too much of anything is going to eventually take a toll. So this is like all aspects of you. And just think, when you're too like lit, like in whatever way, whether you're high or you're drunk, whatever, or on whatever, you're not aware again of your body. You're not aware of your surroundings and what's going on, or at least fully aware. Like you may have certain senses that are still there, obviously, but you're not connecting with yourself 100%. And you already don't do that to begin with. So just adding on a bad habit, or like, not even a bad habit, but just an overindulgence of something, is just going to kind of deplete you even further and pull you further and further away from where it is that your heart, your soul, where you want to be. This one says, learn about clairaudience. Hearing helpful words in full sentences is the rarest psychic pathway. A wise, gentle voice speaking in your head is different than an intuitive thought or your own inner dialogue. Don't experience clairaudience? Listen to what others say, even lines from movies or overheard in the grocery aisle. That may be divine guidance. So whether you are clairaudient or not, maybe that's an ability you don't know you have, because again, you seem avoidant, but maybe that's something that you'd like to explore, or maybe that is something that you newly, or you already knew you had, like as far as the clairs go. I feel like this kind of, when it says hearing helpful words in full sentences is the rare psychic pathway, I don't know why when I saw hearing helpful words, I thought of speaking highly of yourself, speaking kindly to yourself. But sticking, I just want to put that out there, but sticking to the actual clair, I feel like you're more in tune than you think you are. I feel like you don't give yourself enough credit when it comes to your psychic abilities too. I feel like you may, again, be stuck in this rut of, I'm not good enough, or it's not that serious, let me just leave it alone, or whatever. But the thing is, your power is being stifled when you do that too. You never know, that problem or those things that you're avoiding could be the catalyst, could be the breaking point for you to like literally crack yourself open and come out of this brand new shell of yourself. Like, you just think of how long you've been being avoidant, and the results it's gotten you, whether it's, and I don't feel like for a lot of you it's gotten you where you want to go. For most of you, I don't. I honestly, either it's gotten you nowhere or in worse positions. And this isn't an attack or anything, and I pray it doesn't sound like that, because I don't want to seem like that. But it is a serious thing when it comes to taking care of yourself, especially your body. It's like, because this is all we have at the end of the day. When this goes, we go. You know what I mean? So it's like, you want to put a lot of importance on it. And I really don't feel like you do. I really, really don't feel like you do. And I feel like you put your tasks and what needs to be done throughout the day. I think you're very, very good at prioritizing that. You're very hardworking. I really get that from this pile. I get very determined, and you're selfless. Like, that's what I get, selfless. But there's, like, again, what I was saying, too much of anything is not going to lead you down the right path. And being too selfless, you end up neglecting yourself. And either you're here because you noticed you're neglecting yourself, or you're just here out of curiosity to see what I would say. I don't know, but I really get the feeling that you're very neglectful when it comes to your body, when it comes to your abilities too, and your potential. You sleep on your potential very, very much. Very, very much. And I think that it's time for you to wake up, whether it's telling yourself good things or, like it says, you could be out, you could be watching a movie. Maybe one day you think, oh, I want to watch this movie. Watch it. You know, there's a random movie comes to your head, I want to watch this. Watch it. I guarantee you there is a message for there in there, there somewhere. And because you are clairaudient, or whether you know it or not, there's something in that movie, whether you're doing something while you're watching or nothing, it's going to stick out to you. And you're going to turn your head to the TV or the phone, whatever you're watching it on, and you're going to say, oh my God, like, I guarantee you there's going to be some sort of message in there. Those little inklings and thoughts that come to our mind, they're very much like, they're messages. They're messages. And I think outside of the clairaudience, you may have a few other clairs that you don't know about too. But, yeah, I think that you definitely need to be more aware and take more notice to the things that come to your mind, because there's a message in there for you to hear. And then your last one says, practice non-judgment for clearer intuition. Having strong emotions and opinions about others is natural, yet intuition is best channeled through an open mind and a calm heart. Gosh, why am I tripping on this? If you formed an exclusionary fixed judgment about a person or situation, consult someone intuitive and objective. Engage neutrality to avoid narrowing your interpretations. Discern other layers of truth. This card right here goes back to this Three of Pentacles when I was saying utilize your resources. This card right here is saying the non-judgment is for yourself. I don't even think this is, it says having strong emotions and opinions about others is natural, but I feel like this is, because this is a self-care reading, this is all about you. I feel like you have this strong opinion about yourself where it's like, I have to be this one way, or no, or nothing's going to get done or whatever, but that's not the case. And again, maybe therapy, journaling, talking to someone that you trust, that you know is not going to judge you, someone with an unbiased opinion, someone who isn't going to judge you, someone who isn't going to cause you harm. Making sure you're discerning about that. Obviously, you don't want to just go spilling your life out to just anybody, but at the same time, you want to get this out. You cannot keep it bottled up any longer, because you're just going to continue to form this hardened opinion about yourself. And eventually it will, like I said, spill out onto others, where it makes you cold, or it makes you like bitter in a sense. And we don't want you bitter, because like I said, I feel like you're very, very selfless. But if you think of, I'm not saying everybody, but I can name a few people myself, whether you can or not, that have been so selfless that it's actually in the long run hardened them, because they did not think about themselves. They did not consider themselves. And this is a direct call out for you to start considering yourself in the best of ways, in the highest of ways, in the same regard that you consider other people. In the same way you are selfless, you want to pour that all back into yourself. You want to make sure that you're the resource for other people, but where are your resources? You know what I mean? And it really is doing yourself a disservice. It's time for you to really reconsider your the way you handle solutions, the way you handle your solutions, the way you go about finding your solutions. That's what it is. The way you go about finding your solutions. Because, and this one says, it says, if you formed an exclusionary fixed judgment about a person or situation. So again, with this Five of Cups, I don't know what it is, this loss here, whatever it is, these disappointments, these traumas, whatever, adversities that you don't want to face, whatever it is, you formed an opinion on them to where you feel like they're all bad. Like it shouldn't have happened. But it did. And now I just want to like get it out my mind. There's so many lessons in our losses, in those experiences. And I say this from experience and from knowing it. And although our situations are very different, we all are human, we're connected. And I can tell you there are some crazy things that I have experienced in this life. And I'm like, at a point in time, I'm like, why did it have to happen to me? Why did that happen? What did I do like to deserve that? At the end of the day, it's not about whether we deserve these things or not. We have different life paths. We have different experiences that we're going to learn from in different ways. But I can guarantee you there is something that you are missing because you don't want to see it. because it scares you, because you feel like it's more of a threat than a help. But I guarantee you, if you just dig inside of yourself and find that courage, I don't see any pages out here. I see knights and kings. So it's not like you're not experienced with what it is that you want, where it is that you're going in life. It's not that. It's just that you're going about it in ways that they're not suiting you. They're not suiting you. So I'm going to get into these actually, because these are smaller. So the first card we have is Be Still. Second card we have is Energy Work. And then your third card is Positive Affirmations. So yeah, with this Be Still card, again, I feel like you're the type who's always on the move. You're always on the go. You're avoiding. You're like, oh, let me go to the next thing. Let me go to the next thing. Let me go to the next thing. You have to slow down. Remember I said with the Knight of Pentacles, he's slower in his energy, and he doesn't move from an emotional standpoint like the Knight of Cups does. Like I get the whole, like, taking it on all at once, facing all your emotions all at once. That's not what I'm saying to do at all. What I'm saying is, what this is telling me is to face them pragmatically, slowly, logically, articulately, with reason, with though the Knight of Pentacles does, his emotions always have a backing behind them, not saying that, but with the Knight of Pentacles, it's more like, okay, I'm going to take my emotions out of this, and I'm going to look at this from like more of a, I don't want to say a business standpoint, but more of a professional and like a like kind of straight and narrow. I don't know how it's coming to me. Like straight and narrow. Keeping it on a straight and narrow. Like tunnel vision. Focusing on this one thing and being intentional about it. Then moving on to this next thing and being intentional about it. Next thing, next thing, next thing. Things like that. Just baby steps. But this Be Still card is saying meditate. Find a way to meditate. Whether, like I said, taking a walk. Actually sitting there still and focusing on your breath. Running. Not sleeping. You definitely need to rest. If you haven't been sleeping, I will say that, you know, if you need to get more sleep, definitely do that. But with this Be Still card, I'm getting more meditation vibes, because when you're sleeping, you're not even active in certain parts of your mind. So whereas when you're awake, you're fully immersed in the moment. And I think this is about being in the moment and honoring your feelings, whatever comes up, whatever thoughts come up, and taking them on, writing them down if you have to, but just taking a mental note of what comes up so that you're able to really process it. That first thing that pops up will be the first thing you work on. Second thing that pops up will be the second thing you work on. But just taking it one day at a time, 1 minute at a time if you got to, 1 hour at a time, doesn't matter. But doing it at your own pace, finding your own rhythm. Because again, I feel like the way you move is in a way where you're trying to keep up with life. But it's like life isn't going anywhere. You know what I mean? Life, you can't run against life. Like you're either going to go about it in a way that works, or you're going to go ahead and find yourself lagging. Like think of the hare and the tortoise. I know this is crazy. I don't know why it came to me, but just think of the tortoise and how slow he was going to get to the finish line. But then the hare, he was running his ass off, but he ain't see nobody in sight. So he's like, I'm gonna take a nap. I'm gonna just chill. I'm gonna do this. But for you, this would be you getting kind of relaxed in this energy of feeling like you gotta go fast. And then the tortoise ends up lapping you and winning. Why? Because they never gave up, for one. But like I said, with that Ten of Swords, you're going to eventually burn out, and it's going to be a reverse effect from what you thought was going to happen. And you're going to end up not losing, but like the hare ends up losing the race, obviously, but you're going to end up falling behind. Whereas if you were to just slow down and take that step back to think about it and really process it, you'll end up learning more. But not only that, you'll be more like enlightened to the journey. Like, oh, like that was what I needed to learn. Like, and then when you come across it again, you won't even have that same issue, because you'll know, like, let me go at my own pace. I don't have to rush life. With this energy work, I get, well, obviously your chakras are imbalanced, obviously. So definitely like Reiki, if that's something you're interested in, but like I said, meditation or just practicing breath work or laughing yoga in general, just something that will get your body like flowing. I feel like you have this disconnect between your spirituality and your physicality, but the thing is they're all combined. Like we have, you know how they say like if you like hurt one side, we have our nervous system is all connected. So this side is going to be connected to this side, whether this side hurts more or not. Like it's all connected. Same thing applies to your spirituality, because like I said, if you go, if you don't take care of this won't be right, because your reality, your experiences won't match up, or not even match up. They'll definitely match up to the way you're treating yourself and the way you're expressing yourself, but it won't be to your highest benefit. So this is about really just slowing down, meditation, breath work, being intentional about your breathing, and I don't know. I just feel like a lot of you need silence. Like you're around a lot of noise. Like you're around people. Like maybe you have like different maybe you're the type where your mind is constantly going. I just feel like a lot of chatter is going on. Like a lot of mental chatter is going on here. So whether that be your own thoughts or like projections of other people's thoughts, that's something you need to clear out. I definitely do recommend Reiki. Whether you book a session with me or you book a session with your favorite Reiki practitioner, or you look to whoever it is, or do it yourself. Like you can do it yourself. You don't even have to spend money on anyone else's work. You know what I mean? It's not that, but the main thing here is to get it done. And it doesn't have to be Reiki. It could be like a sound bowl meditation, anything, something that'll really get you, because sound bowls, you think they definitely align the chakras, but you also hear them. And going back into this clairaudience, maybe there's something that'll pop up for you where you hear like a message during that crystal sound bowl meditation, something of that nature. Just anything to get you still, but still active at the same time. And then with this positive affirmations card, this kind of goes back to what I was saying. Where is it at? Oh, remember when I said hearing helpful words? Speaking life into yourself more. Telling yourself that you can get through it. You can do it. Because, again, avoidance is over here, but there's so much life over here. There's so much, like, growth and potential over here. You have to really get real with yourself about the way you feel. So, again, baby steps, but just I am powerful. I can do this. I am beautiful. I am smart. I am hardworking. I am determined. I will heal. I am healing. Like, you want to definitely be in I am mode, but you will heal. You will. You just have to take those necessary steps and those necessary actions. They may not be the prettiest. Sometimes it will get ugly. It will. But guess what? There's so much beauty in the aftermath. Like, you just think, I'm just thinking of the moon and how hidden it is, and then the sun comes right after it. Or not even that, but just how tower moments may happen, but we have the opportunity to rebuild in the way that we'd like for it to be. So there's so, or even thinking about the devil energy and like lower vibration, going back to what I was saying about drinking and smoking too much, or just doing everything in moderation, but just thinking about how devil energy, you're never really tied to it. It's more so a choice, and that's what life is all about at the end of the day. It's just choices. So what choice are you going to make when it comes to your well-being, when it comes to taking care of yourself? Make sure you're making the right choices here. And though you may feel like obviously this is the right way to go, you're so ultimately, you wouldn't have clicked this, you wouldn't be here if you didn't feel like there was something that was missing. So definitely take heed to that. They're upside down. They're upside down. So I got three more sets. So you have, like no one's watching, or if they are, give it up. Then on the back it says, give me Nirvana I can dance to. So, like no one's watching, or if they are, give it up. What I'm getting from that is like, when you say give it up for such and such song, so woo! So, I feel like maybe the reason you're so avoidant and you put on this good face is because you feel like there's someone always watching you. But that's the thing, that you kind of have to do things as if you're not, like, don't be afraid of being judged for your feelings. Don't be afraid of being judged for your emotions about something, whether you think it's too big or too small or not. That's not for you to decide, honestly, at the end of the day. I know it sounds crazy when I say it because it's your life, but at the same time, when you utilize the resources, like say you do decide to go to therapy, I can guarantee you your therapist is not going to say that your problem is small. They're going to empathize or sympathize with you and hold value to it because you find it to be a problem. And it's not because they get paid for it, it's because they've been through the schooling and the psychological training or whatever it is that they need to in order to understand. Listen, I mean, and it doesn't really take that, but it does at the same time. You do need schooling to do therapy. I won't say that. But I'm saying, like, if you're just naturally the type of person who understands that everybody has their own pathway to go, and, like, it may not seem big to me, but it's big to you, so it's big. You know? Not saying go fly off the handle about it, but we're going to discuss it and get through it because you obviously don't know how to navigate through it. That's the point I'm trying to make. I can guarantee you they wouldn't do that. So you shouldn't do it to yourself. Don't hold so much value or weight on other people's opinions of you or the way you're perceived or seen, because we all have those down moments, and it's okay. Even if it's yourself, don't beat yourself up for having a down moment because you're so like on the go all the time. So I can see you being like, oh, I just want to lay in bed and cry today. And you're like, oh no, get the hell up. Like, you know, like kind of like talking mean, not mean, but like just really like warden like to yourself. Maybe like a sergeant. I'm thinking like Major Payne. Like, I don't know why, but I'm thinking like, and it's crazy. I thought Major Payne. I'm like, why did I think that? But you think he was talking to little kids. So just think of yourself talking to your inner child. And how would you want someone to talk to you when you were little? Sometimes we have to not baby or coddle ourselves, but again, move in a slower, more practical way because we're dealing with emotions. And I think just kind of looking at yourself from a childlike perspective would definitely benefit you greatly. And then again, it says, give me Nirvana, I can dance to Nirvana. First of all, I think that was a 90s group. And Nirvana in itself is just like, I think it's dealing with like other like religions. It's like Buddhism, Hinduism, something like that. But it's like full enlightenment. So whether you practice these things or not, it really doesn't matter, because I think Nirvana would be kind of the same thing as like the land of milk and honey when it comes to biblical terms. Like, it's like just having everything you need, full enlightenment, not wanting for anything, and that's the place that I feel like your soul is calling you to be. Like, you don't want to have to be this go mode. Like, I think that you're on autopilot right now, maybe, and this is just your clarity to like kind of back you out of that. Like, hey, you're in autopilot, but you can always turn that off, or cruise control rather, and you're just doing everything, and your car, your engine, or your body or whatever is just going because you don't know how to stop. But there's a button for that. That's what I feel like that's saying. It says, what's one thing you're grateful for? Blessed as fuck. Blessed AF. I'm gonna say blessed AF because I don't want to say blessed. But it does say AF, okay? I just was cursing. Okay, I'm sorry, God. Anyway, what's one thing you're grateful for? Have you ever thought about that? Have you ever slowed down out of this autopilot mode and said, hey, what am I grateful for? Because, like, have you ever taken a look around to actually bask in your actual achievements or your accomplishments or what you have gotten yourself through? Because the one thing I will say is this. Though you may seem avoidant or give off that avoidant vibe, you've still gotten yourself this far. You're still here right now listening to this reading or whatever the case may be. So a part of you is still willing. A part of you still endures. A part of you still has strength. A big part of you, really. You're very strong. I give you that. I give it up to you. But again, too strong leads, like, it'll eventually lead to a weak spot or a weak point because you're not allowing yourself to see, like, okay, what is it that I can consume? What can I take in right now? And then that's what I said about supporting your physical body. Even when it comes to the things that you're taking in that's not edible, that's not like liquefied or whatever the case may be. Just the things that you're consuming, the words, the education, the knowledge that you're taking in. If you're always like on this constant go mode where you think like, I know myself, I know I gotta just keep going, I gotta keep pushing, I gotta keep, no. Slow it down. Slow it down. Ask yourself, even if you can name at least one thing you're grateful for. I'm sure of it. I am sure of it. And I always say this in my readings, if you can't think of not one thing, you're breathing. You're breathing, you're here. Grateful for life. Grateful for the opportunity to keep going. Like, thank God for that, right? So, understanding that you are blessed and you have a strong, just as strong and enduring as you are, your spiritual team is just like that. God is just like that. You know what I mean? Just as strong, just as powerful, even more powerful, honestly, than you are. So I think that taking in the fact that you're blessed will actually give you the, maybe like a feeling where you're like, oh, I can kind of relax a little bit because I'm blessed regardless. Like what's for me won't pass me by. I can take all my time, not all the time, but like I can take my time when it comes to healing myself. I don't have to, like, because you don't, the only reason I said you don't want to take all the time is because you don't want to make it into a cycle where you're like repeating the same things. And, you know, sometimes that will happen, but you don't want to make that your thing, you know? But take what time you need in order to heal, for sure. Don't let anybody tell you like, oh, because at the end of the day, like I said, every day that you wake up is a day to learn, a day to grow, a day to just kind of expand. And again, over here, there is a big expansion, but here it seems very confined. So, and then your last card says, have a meditation staycation. And then it says, sweet, on the back. And you know, is like the, is like the, energy work, like chanting or something, like I think every chakra has a different sound or something. But either way, it's about meditating, being still, like I said with this card. And maybe chanting would work for you. Maybe chanting, because you think positive affirmations and you're using your throat chakra. Chanting is using your throat chakra. I think maybe because you're so avoidant and you don't speak on these things, maybe your throat chakra is like the main chakra that needs work. Or not needs work, but you know, you want to be expressive. And you don't want to feel like you have to be confined because you feel like a burden or something. Like, be still, meditate. You got this. So, last three are just affirmation cards for you all to either repeat to yourself or just take in the moment. So, it says, today is a fresh start. Today is a brand new day that I will embrace as a new beginning and make the most of this day. Today I am respectful. Today I will acknowledge other people's thoughts and feelings as well as my own. And then today I will persevere. Today nothing will worry me. All my problems will pass in time. I love these because, first of all, they're perfect for you, obviously. But I think that this fresh start card kind of goes back to this Five of Cups. All those losses and experiences that you're trying to avoid. I think just going into every day knowing that you can restart, you can grow, and you can, it's like a wake up. It's a wake up call to you to honor the day and itself and not really harp on those past experiences. You do want to not stop avoiding them, but you don't want to make them your life or the centerfold of your life or like what it is that you're driven by. And just making the most of each day in the best of ways. Starting off with those positive affirmations. Starting off with that meditation if you can. Journaling if you can. Just writing it all down so it doesn't have to be a part of that new day. Getting it out the way so it doesn't have to be a part of the new day, like tomorrow or whatever the case may be. And then this today I am respectful. When it says, talks about acknowledging everyone's thoughts and feelings as well as your own. I want to highlight the part of as well as your own. Because I feel like you, again, consider everyone else before yourself. And that is a big, big no. You know, you want to equally, it's okay to be selfless. Nobody's saying that. But you want to have the part saved for yourself. Save some of you for you. You don't want to continue to, like, feel like oh, I have to work for other people. I have to get this done for other people. Like, because again, you'll burn out and it will not be any of you left. And you'll get to the end of your life and be like, I did all this for them and none of it for me. None of it for me. And then this perseverance card about not worrying and all your problems will pass in time. Again, like I said, for every problem there is a solution. Just taking that in and knowing that and not allowing the problem to consume you in a way that ruins your day or it takes over your day or it takes over your mind and then your entire being. It's so there's a lot of non-avoidance that needs to happen here because you seem very avoidant. You have a lot of power within you though that is being stifled and it's being compressed. Like I said, you feel like a soda can that's shaken up that you don't want to open. But once you do open it, all of it's going to come out. And it's either going to come out in that Ten of Swords energy or it's going to come out in a more practical, like pragmatic way where you're like utilizing the resources and you're taking it one step at a time. The choice is ultimately up to you because you can open that soda can either really fast or you can open it really slow and take your time. And I feel like what this reading is saying is just take your time and know that you can get through it. Know that you will get through it and know that there are practices that you can put in place that can help you now so that when the time comes for you to actually, you know, take on these adversities or traumas or experiences and losses and things like that, that you will have the proper, what's the word I'm looking for? Proper, like, routine, I guess, in place in order to be able to do it. So, yes. So, Pile 1, I thank you so much for being here, and I pray that this reading resonates with you. If it does, please let me know down in the comments. You can like and subscribe as well. I love when you guys do that. Thank you so much. Like I said, if you want to book a personal session with me, you can do that over at my website, www.theangelicmuse.com, or you can just go down to the description and click the link down below in order to book. So, I thank you all so much for being here, and I pray you enjoy the rest of your day or your night. Hey, Pal 2. So, if you chose this African Bloodstone crystal or silhouette, here is your reading. So, I'm going to start out with your tail first. So, I actually pulled, like I move these over. It's a lot of oracle cards, girl. So, I actually pulled 2 different decks. So one tarot deck is going to go into how it is that you're going about your self-care, your inner healing, things of that nature. And the other one's going to go about like suggestions or giving you clarity or insight or ways that you could kind of improve or, you know, just take in whatever it is that you, however you choose to take it. So I'm going to first get into how you're going about it. And your first card, you have the 4 of Cups. Second card is the 10 of Pentacles. And your third card is the King of Swords. Okay. So, the word monotonous came to me. And when I saw that 4 of Cups, and I think, I don't know it by definition, but I feel like it's like a same shit, different day type energy. Like monotonous is like kind of repetitive and like redundant almost. Like it's like, I could be wrong. If I'm wrong, I feel like I'm not wrong because I've heard the word before. But I could be off by a little bit. But either way, that's the energy I got. Like something redundant or like 4 Cups energy does feel like discontentment of some sort. But I feel like, here's the thing. I feel like with the 10 of Pentacles and this King of Swords here, you give me the energy of someone who is just kind of, well, detached. Detached from pleasure, detached from fun, because though 10 of Pentacles is, you know, long term, it's very much like fulfillment of some sort, and being able to share and bask in your accomplishments and things of that nature. I feel like with this King of Swords energy is just giving me the attitude of someone who feels like, okay, what's next? Like, all right, like, keep going. You know, like, I'm good at this. Like, whatever it is that you do, I will say you're good at it. I do get the feeling you're very experienced in your craft, in your work, in getting things done. Because King of Swords is not one to play with. I will say that, okay? He's very, very much not one to play with. And he knows his shit. Whether you male or female or not. I'm just saying. You know your shit. You know your capabilities when it comes to your craft. When it comes to getting things on a material level. Like, you really know what it is that you're aiming for. But I feel like you're still neglectful of yourself in other ways because this Four of Cups energy is here. It gives me the feeling of someone who has everything, but there's this one thing missing. It's like, and then that's that other cup that's being handed to you that you really aren't paying attention to. Or because you're so wrapped up in your day-to-day that you don't even take notice of it. Like, it's not even an intentional ignoring of it. You just literally don't see it. So I will say as far as your self-care practice goes, it is, what's the word I'm looking for? It is neglected in a sense, but you're well taken care of in other areas, which is why you kind of just brush it to the side. I don't feel like you're, like, I feel like if you wanted to, say for example, you wanted to go to a spa and get a massage or something. I feel like you could do it, but you just don't because you're so wrapped up in your work. You're so wrapped up, like you have the financial means to do it, but you just don't because you're like, I don't have time for that. Like, I'm gonna just keep going, like doom 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 doom. Like, it's like I don't know why I'm thinking like this, but I am. It's like a monotone type energy, like black and white and gray here, but it's still very much fulfilling. It's like you're just bored with the fulfillment that you have. You're bored with, and it's like you don't know how to go about obtaining it, so you just don't do anything about it at all. That's the feeling I'm getting here, and I hope it makes sense. I can imagine someone being like this, but I pray that I am like verbally articulating myself in a way in which you all can understand, because it's giving me like, and I'm not saying this person because I don't even know I don't know him personally, but like, think like Jeff Bezos having all this money, and I'm not saying you're on Jeff Bezos level, I'm just saying he has all this money and all these resources and all these people around him, and it's like, I don't like any of you. You know that Drake meme where he's like, he's saying something, but they'll make memes about it. Like, why didn't you come to work today? It's like, cause I don't like any of you. But like, he's like laughing about it a bit, but he's dead serious. Like, it's like that kind of energy I'm getting, like really dry and like, not that you maybe not like them, but it's just, again, there's something missing. Like, the spark isn't there. And King of Swords is a very detached energy, like I was saying before. So it's almost like you just do what needs to be done and don't even think twice about it. But in the back of your mind, you always come back to like, oh my gosh, something is missing. Like, something is just not hitting for what it's supposed to be hitting for. That's the energy I'm getting here. I'm going to get into your suggestions in a minute, but I wanted to give that overarching feeling of like how it is that you kind of take care. Like, when it comes to your emotions and stuff, I don't even feel like you consider them, because you feel like the 3 cups that are already there, it's like, this is already enough as it is. I can't take on anything else. It's like, but you're still there's still a feeling of discontentment at the same time. So we're going to get into why now. I feel like, yeah, okay, let me just get into it. So for your suggestions or like clarity on insight on what you could possibly do to improve that or whatever, it's the 8 of Pentacles, the 10 of Cups, okay, and the Queen of Swords. Okay, wait a minute. So That is crazy. Okay, so you got the Ten of Pentacles on one side, the Ten of Cups on the other, and then you got the King of Swords on one side, and then the Queen of Swords on the other. So you got the same suits, like, well, the same number in the middle, and then the same suit on the end. But there is like a stark contrast here. Okay, so I feel like the suggestion here I feel like what this is saying in its entirety is to put some of that effort, that all that hard work and determination that you have towards your craft or whatever it is, getting things done on a surface level, put more energy into your emotional fulfillment. Oh, and then this is cups. You got 4 cups and 10 of cups. I didn't even notice that. Oh my God. I didn't even notice that. I didn't notice that. I mean, they're switched, but what, like the ones in the middle, ones at the beginning, but still, it's still cups energy. I feel like this is saying to put more energy into your fulfillment, obviously, like emotionally fulfillment. Because while you have 10 of Pentacles here, that's more so like, it's tangible things for one. It's like you having the house of your dreams, the car of your dreams, the career of your dreams, things of that nature. It does dive into other aspects, but the way I'm picking it up right now is just basically like surface level things. Whereas this 10 of Cups is that emotional fulfillment. It's like you're happily ever after, where you're like, oh, I really don't want nothing from now. I got the money, the car, the house, the partner, the everything. Like, I'm set. Like, I'm taken care of. This is saying to put more energy into your emotional fulfillment. Don't put so much pressure or what's the word, like leverage and like don't put so much like of your, I don't know how to say this, don't put so much of what it is that you want into the surface level or things that you can see, because that feeling that you can get inside when you truly, like, there are people who don't have any money at all and you'll find them to be the happiest in the world, like, or like at least that's how they exude, their personality or their energy exudes, like it just comes out that way, because they're more appreciative of the smaller things. And I feel like this is what it's saying, is to pay more attention and put more effort and focus on the smaller things, especially if you have the resources to do that. Like, as far as, like I was saying, like getting a massage or just taking a break and like really enjoying and basking and being around family and being around friends and not really putting so much effort into the working aspect. I feel like whoever you are around, like as far as like whoever you have for family, friends, you may have some amazing friends, amazing family that you could be spending more time with. And that is going to elevate your self-care practice, because, I mean, these are naturally people that you gravitate towards, you're connected to, and you can learn things about yourself and them. And it'll like take you a lot further than these, I don't want to keep calling them surface level, because it's not like having a stable home, a stable car, a roof over your head, and things like that aren't of importance. I'm not saying that at all. But I feel like because the focus is there so much that it takes away from your enjoyment for life in itself. And then not only that, but like I said, you got a King of Swords over here, and you got the Queen of Swords over here. While they're both still swords, they both think like head over heart type energy, definitely factoring in the logic before the emotion. And but one's more receptive, that being the Queen. She's also more of a communicator than the King of Swords. The King of Swords, he's not a man of many words. Like, he's not really going to do too much talking. He's a thinker and act on it. But the Queen of Swords, she'll actually have that conversation with you and help you, like, to understand, like, her side and your side and take it all in and give it back. You know, like, it's more of a give and take type energy here. Whereas the King of Swords is like, no bullshit. I'm just going to do what the hell I need to do here. And it's going to be done. I feel like this is really saying pour into the connections that you have. That is going, like, as far as self-care and inner healing, especially when it comes to healing. Because, like, say, for example, if you have, like, parents or grandparents that are still here and, you know, living and things like that, learn about them. Learn about their stories and what it is that they've been through. And that may actually help you to learn more about yourself. Like, you'd be really, really surprised to hear other people's stories and how they relate to you in such a way. It may spark something in you where you're like, oh, it clicks now. Like, this contentment that I was feeling here, or this boredom and this dissatisfaction has all gone away because I've actually poured into my relationships more. I've poured into my connections and the people around me that I'm working so hard for. You know, like I said, you really, really have it all. Like, you, as far as you know what you're doing in your craft. I'm telling you, like, whatever it is, or even if you have like an idea in mind or something like that you know is like near and dear to your heart, and you know it can make a lot of sense to you in the long run, like, go for that. Definitely take on that if you haven't already. But if you already are, you got it. Maybe what it is, so maybe some of you are like building like a business or a brand or something for yourself, and because you're so invested into it, it's taking away from these relationships or this emotional fulfillment. And I feel like what it's saying is that you need to try to kind of find a healthy balance between the two. But like I said, you have both swords energy, which I find to be very interesting. You got 2 10s, so it's like you've completed this cycle here. You got all you need here. So now it's time to pour into this. And think 8 of Pentacles. He's in his element. He's in his zone. So the same energy you put into this to get this 10 of Pentacles, like, you want to put that, because you have the hardworking trait in you already. You want to pour that into your connections. And that's really, really, really going to be a pivotal moment for you. It'll actually turn that 4 of Cups into a 10 of Cups, just like that. Like, it's literally just a shift that needs to be done. And this could be as simple as, like I said, going to visit a relative or a friend or something like that, and just sitting with them, not thinking about work, not thinking about what has to be done next, not thinking about like, well, this bill needs to be paid, or not thinking about this bright idea. Like, there's going to be so many more moments where you have these ideas, business ideas and ventures and things that you're going to go on. But now is the time. There's no better time than now to pour into your relationships. That is the message that I'm getting. I think this is so cool, like how that came out that way. So I'm going to get to your oracle cards now. Let's see what we have. I'm going to start out with the big ones because they're so big. So you have minimize energy drains. Who or what or where drains your physical and psychic energy? Is there a person, commitment, bad habit, food, place, thought pattern, or internal attitude that defeats or depletes you? Ask your intuition to identify drains in your life through words, pictures, feelings, and knowings, or via synchronicity. Support your adrenals. This is going back to what I was saying, when you're like, you have that 4 Cups energy, that it kind of drains you because you're like, where am I? I'm only being fulfilled in this area here, but I'm also very bored with the, like, on an emotional aspect. Like, it looks great outwardly, but on an emotional aspect or emotional level, you're not pouring into the right things because you're being drained or depleted of them in other ways. So maybe you're like the type, maybe you're like really tired all the time from working, so you don't really have the energy to go visit family and friends or things like that. But it's saying make the time. It's literally just a simple shift that needs to be done, because everything that you desire, as far as the tangible things, as far as building generational wealth and having something to leave behind for your descendants if you choose to have them, or whatever the case may be, that's all set in stone. Like, it's not going to pass you by. It's not going to skip you or nothing like that, because your craft is your craft. Your work is your work. You are who you are at the end of the day. And if it's for you, it will always be for you. So there's no need to overwork yourself to try to get that thing, because that thing is already yours. So you want to kind of, even if you feel like you haven't met the finish line, there will never really, I feel like for you, there will never really be a finish line, because you go so hard for it. And it's saying to just balance this out. Balance this out in a way to where you can be both practical and emotional. Like, you can balance the spiritual with the physical, where you can balance all aspects and create like this balance for yourself. Because like I said, there seems to be a really, really imbalance. So and again, I was telling Power One this too. It says if there's like food or thought patterns and things like that, just making sure that you're eating well and you're putting whatever it is that you're putting into your body as far as your thoughts, your food, your drinks, whatever, make sure that it lines up with where you want to be on a healthy level. Like as far as health goes, you want to make sure that you're not draining yourself unintentionally. I mean, I'm not even going to say unintentionally, because I don't feel like you're doing it intentionally now. I just think you're so focused that you can't see it. But there are ways that we can do it without really, really knowing it. Like, I feel like you know something's missing here. But like, say for example, you go to eat something one day and you're like, I don't feel good after that. But it's because you did it unintentionally, knowing that it would make you feel like that. So it's just kind of like finding like a routine or a pattern or foods that work for you. Things of that nature. This one says, respect guidance dreams. Sleep can be a time of mystical awakening. Not all dreams convey intuitive messages, but drawing this card indicates you're currently receiving some interesting sixth sense guidance between the sheets. At dawn, quickly record the vivid, memorable nuances of your nocturnal adventures. Discern which of your nightly dreams deserve your waking attention. So, first of all, for those of you who aren't getting enough sleep, you need to get more sleep. But for those of you who are getting enough sleep, but you're not really paying attention to your dreams, obviously this is a direct call out to you. You want to take note of them, because we don't have dreams for no reason. No matter how silly they are, no matter how weird how they might seem, they don't make sense, you know, because that's a whole different realm. That's not our waking life anyway. So sometimes it will come off a bit jarring at times, or like just weird, but it all has a meaning or a message behind it. If you decide you want to research or Google or get dream interpretation done, whatever the case may be, there are some significant messages in your dreams that could help you in your waking life. So I don't want to give examples. I was about to, but I don't even want to do that, but like, if for whatever reason you're dreaming about like being with friends or being with family or being around company that you enjoy, that is obviously a clear message that that's something you need to do. And it's not something you want to ignore or only save for your dreams, because that's not real life. You can do it in your dreams all day and all night. But if someone comes to your dreams or you're thinking about them, give them a call. You know what I mean? Like, see how they're doing, because like I said, you seem like you're really consumed by your work and your craft, that you don't really put the time in for the other aspects of your life. And you know, we all have tunnel vision at some point in time, but I feel like this is saying to direct that tunnel vision elsewhere. Like, we have tunnel vision for this, you want to build and build and build, but this is saying to direct that attention elsewhere. And again, if your dreams, or even if you're having nightmares or some sort, like, take note of that too. I'm really sorry to hear it if you are, because they're not freaking fun at all. I get it, but at the same time, there's something in there that is being missed, and that's just kind of maybe your mind telling you, hey, you need to pay attention to this. Hey, this is going to turn into something else if you don't, you know, take heed to it. And it's not necessarily like a warning where things are all going to hit the fan and shit like that. But it's just saying, hey, it turning into something else could be anything, as far as like, hey, you know, you keep neglecting this, and you're going to get to a point where it's months and months and months, and now you hitting a year and you still haven't talked to this person. And I get, you know, some of us are like, well, they could call me if they want to talk type energy. But it's like, sometimes we have to take the initiative, especially if we're like the authoritative people and we're like take charge people. And I mean, you did give me King of Swords and Queen of Swords energy. Like, you're not like a knight or a page. So maybe people are like, oh, okay, this person is so wrapped up in their thing, let me just leave them alone. But it's like, no, you take initiative and you give them a call. You know what I mean? And it won't hurt. And then I can see if you're constantly pouring into making the effort to call somebody, then it becomes like, okay, well, you can pick up the phone and call me. But, you know, for that first initial step, you take that. You have very authoritative energy in here. Like, I'm getting like big boss energy, okay? So just go ahead and give them a call and see how they are doing. So, find healing messages in nature is your last card. It says, a robin landing outside your window when you're missing a departed loved one. A breeze kicking up just as you contemplate a career change. A saying scrawled in the sand on the beach that speaks to your soul, or a puppy yapping happily when you tell a friend you're getting hitched, are healing, intuitive messages. So again, I feel like this card just kind of piggybacks off of me saying, take notice and be mindful of the more emotional aspects, the little things, those minor things that you wouldn't really be able to pay attention to if you're wrapped up in energy. You're not going to pay attention to a robin outside your window if you're so focused on paperwork, or you're so focused on whatever it is the case may be. It doesn't really matter. And not only that, but it's saying that they're all healing, intuitive messages. So I feel like when you slow down a bit, that's when the intuition comes in, because you have to think intuition is very, very small. It's very, very quiet compared to the ego, and how boisterous and out there and in your face the ego can be. Or, I mean, depending on the type of person you are, because sometimes the ego can be quiet and it can keep you safe and like not feel good enough too. But I don't get that. I feel like your ego is a lot louder, obviously, because you're so take charge. But you want to save some quiet time for yourself too. And not when you're studying your craft or nothing like that, but when you really just take time for yourself. Because that's where it starts at the end of the day. You know, you could go around your loved ones and your people and stuff like that and spend time with them too, but spend time with yourself as well. You know, if you're like a loner, and they're both the queen and the king of swords are very independent. Like, I think all of the king and queens are, but for some reason they give me more like, I'm okay with being alone type vibes. Like, you know, and that's fine. You want to be able to set boundaries on when you want to be around people and when you don't too. So I feel like this is just saying reserve some quiet time for yourself as well. Don't just feel like you got to jump from doing your business mode or working on your craft to being like around loud parties and people and a bunch of gatherings and things like that. You can go visit one person at a time, or you could just take that moment to rest. Like I was saying, for some of you, maybe you do need more sleep. Maybe you need more time to rest and kind of recuperate. So yeah, just however it applies to you in whatever ways, whether it's taking time for yourself or other people, is definitely saying get out there in nature. Take that walk, or sit there and just ground yourself, or sit on the bench and just take in the fresh air. Maybe a lot of you are stuck inside. I will say this Eight of Pentacles energy, even though it's on the other side, it does give me the feeling of someone who, like when you think of the Rider-Waite version, there's someone who's inside doing things. So it's saying to kind of take that energy outside. Like, you think of the Ten of Cups and how they're out there and there's like a rainbow and kids playing and there's a house. It's kind of saying take that hardworking, cooped up energy outside. Like, take it outside, because in order to get to the Ten of Pentacles, you got to get through the Eight. So you already spent enough time inside. Get out in nature. Take in the air. Take in whatever birds you see. Birds do have symbolism too. You might see a red robin. You might see a blue jay or a hummingbird or something like that. And those all birds have significant meanings. But I'm just saying those literally. I think a red cardinal does. Oh, and Alexa just kind of verified that. I don't want to say it too loud because she'll start talking back. And but either way, I think a red cardinal is like about a past loved one, and it does mention that, a robin landing outside your window when you're missing a departed loved one. But I think a cardinal does too. But anyway, just taking note of those things and knowing that, you're surrounded by a lot more than you allow yourself to see at times. And that Four of Cups energy does kind of go into that. Like I said, you may not intentionally miss it, but because you're so consumed by what you already have and consumed by what you already have to do, you're missing out on these other parts. And it doesn't seem like you're like beating yourself up or like you're not confident. It just seems like you neglect certain areas, and that happens. Life be lifing sometimes, okay? And I can't even say I haven't been here before, so that's why I'm like, you know what? It makes sense. We're human, y'all. We're human. We're going to keep pushing. So, next three cards are going to be your, what do they call? What the hell are they called? Oh, the self-care oracle. So, you got spend time with friends. Hello. 10 Ten of Cups. You got to spend time with friends. I am not lying. Spend time with friends, yes. And they're around, sitting around doing nothing. They got tarot cards. Well, they're not doing nothing. Okay, they're reading cards. They got papers. Somebody was drawing. They drinking tea. They're reading books. Like, they just chilling. They're not even like doing anything related to work, unless you do tarot cards. That's fine, because even shoot, I do it too, but that don't mean I won't do it for a friend if she call me or he call me right now. Like, I'll still do it, like, and it won't feel like work, and as opposed to like this where I'm trying to, like, you know, make something for myself at some point in time. But like, that is like completely out of, you know, that realm. It's just in whatever way. It doesn't have to be that. You could just be chilling, just talking, watching a movie, going out to eat, anything. Because like I said, it does seem like you have some resources here that can be utilized, or like you have great support systems. Maybe they'll even pay for you to go out. Like, you know what I mean? Or treat you like, hey, you give them a call, and then they're like, hey, you know, you want to go out to eat? My treat. Then boom, you got your friend and you got a meal. You know what I mean? And who don't like that? So this is definitely saying you need to spend more time not doing so much, not like overworking the work. Like, yeah, I'm hearing work by Rihanna, okay? And I don't even know why. Work. That has nothing to do with this, but I just heard work so many times that I feel like that's all you do. So your next one says sing. You got sing. I feel like this card right here is, again, all about having fun. Like, whether you are a singer or not, and it's something you enjoy doing, I feel like this is just saying sing, whether it's ugly or that you feel like you can sing, whether you have the most beautiful voice in the world, it doesn't. She's singing into a hairbrush. So again, it's just going back into like being more carefree, being more fun, being more like, I don't give a fuck. Like, excuse my language, but not really. But like, I feel like you care too much about, not too much. I don't want to say that, because then it's going to say, you know what? I will say that, because at the end of the day, it's not about me trying to necessarily spare feelings, because if you get it, you're going to get what I'm saying too. Like, it's like you can care too much about something. You can put too much emphasis on something to the point where it drains and depletes you. And remember what I was saying, energy drains. What is draining you? And if it's this, you already have it. You don't have to allow it to drain you. You know, it's one thing to pour into something, but when it starts draining you, it's like, oh, wait a minute now. Let me just chill up. Let me back up a little bit, you know? That's what I'm getting. It's just saying, be more carefree. Like, really just get to know, like, yourself on a more intimate level. Really just getting to know yourself on a more, like, fun level. Like, not taking life so seriously. You know, just having more pleasure and just fun in your life. And then, lastly, we have sex. We have sex. Okay. I'm not going to show you that card but pretty much it is a woman on top of whoever, I don't know, whatever you like, and enjoying yourself. So I will say this, I mean, we're all grown here. Hopefully you better be over 18 listening to this, but either way, if you're not, go. Or close your ears for this part. But what I was saying is that when it comes to sex, obviously you want to do so responsibly. You do not, if that is something that, with that energy draining card, if you're like, maybe, I don't feel like this, but it is a message that I really do want to say. If you feel like you're like, only outlet is sex, like if you feel like you need to, like that's your PowerPoint, like I don't know how to describe it, if that's like your highlighted moment, or like you're the type to have like multiple partners, or you just out here all willy-nilly, that can drain you very much. I know, like, there's this great thing going on where everybody says, oh, sex is so liberating. It is with the right person. You know, you don't want to just go giving it to just anybody, because first of all, that's your portal. Whether you're male or female or not, it does not matter. That is your portal to life. Like, that is your life maker. Okay? And you want to use that wisely. But I do feel like it's saying just be, even if you're doing it with yourself, start it with yourself if you got to. Go ahead and do your thing. I'm not going to get into intimate details, but you know what you can do by yourself if you feel called to, just to release that tension. I feel like you're so like, you know, like you're just so like stern and you want to let loose a little bit. But I'm not saying go out here and just do it with the next person you come across. I'm not saying that at all. But I mean, again, like I said, we're all adults here and you're going to do what you want at the end of the day. But just know there is moderation is key here, and being discerning is key. So just having fun and just, again, just being your I'm not going to say the word because I can't even say it, but just being your free, like, wild self with the right person and just not caring about how you look or how you sound, or, again, with the sing card, how you sound, or, like, what it is that's, like, just being in the moment and, like, just wanting to reach that point where you're like, oh, it's my thing. You know what I mean? Like, you know what I'm talking about. I can't, but, like, you're gonna go from 4 of Cups. If you take heed to these messages, I'm telling you, and you put some emphasis on the emotional and the pleasurable aspects of yourself, you're gonna wake up, and that 4 of Cups is going to turn into that 10 of Cups. I'm telling you, if you just put more energy and have more put more emphasis on the pleasurable sides of life, like the more fun and enjoying and energetic and like, oh, like wild sides of life, like you're going to create this brand new person within you. It's already in you, but it's like that's who you are, like calling yourself out to be, but you're so wrapped up in everything that you're like, I don't know how to make a move. The move is there. Like, you just gotta shift your energy. You know what I mean? Shift where you put your energy. It's literally just like that. And I know it may be hard because you're so hardwired into, like, getting things done, work. But I think just telling yourself, like, it's okay. It's already mine. It's already mine. I want to see what your affirmations are, too. But I think if you just were to have that conversation with yourself, or not even a conversation, but just sit down and really take in the fact that you don't have to go so hard for this and like ease up a bit. It's going to draw on these connections. Like, even if you're not the type, even if you're so wrapped up that you kind of feel like you lost your friends or you don't have friends, those connections will start to open back up. Like, even if you were to reach out, friends are friends forever, and if they're genuine. I'm not saying everybody is a friend all the time, but I'm saying if there's a genuine friend, whether you go months or years or whatever without speaking, I know years is crazy, but it happens sometimes. But, you know, there's still going to be a friend, still going to be a genuine person, and still going to be open arms for you, just like your open arms, which is why you're reaching out. So don't hesitate on that one, for real. So I'm going to get into these affirmations here. It says, peace. It starts with releasing the bullshit. And then it says, visualize world peace on the back. P-E-A-S, like peace. So it's like a play on words, but I don't know what that is for, but it's like world peace. But it says it starts with releasing the bullshit. So releasing the bullshit, sometimes that bullshit is what we tell ourselves we need to do over what we want to do. Like, again, releasing the bullshit starts with feeling like you have to be so wrapped up in your work. Like, not saying your work is bullshit, because like I said, you got it going on. But what I'm saying is that releasing that mindset that I have to constantly be in work mode. Like, I'm not a fucking machine. You're not. You know, telling yourself that. Maybe not without the curse words, but, you know, speaking nicely to yourself, but you're not. I'm telling you, you're not a fucking machine. Like, you're not. You need to create that space for yourself where you're like, okay, I can fall back. I can just chill. I can be myself. I don't have to feel like I have to put this mask on in order to be Captain fucking Superman or whoever the hell. I don't know. But you don't have to do all that. It comes a point in time where you can just chill. This one says 0 fox giving. Like, it's a fox. Isn't it cute? Oh. And then it says, and you're cute as hell. Because you are. First of all, let me tell you something. I don't know why this just came to me. I just thought about foxes too. They have like this, people are afraid of foxes, but like they actually they're not attackers. Like, they actually will run before they're going to attack. Unless they have to, like if it's their territory, obviously maybe they'll do something. But like for the most part, Because we got them out my way sometimes too. Very rare. And I don't know why, because I live in the suburbs. But I don't even know. Anyway, they look one way, or they're perceived one way, but they're not really one way. And I feel like with you, maybe you have some confidence issues, and that's why you're so worky. But let me tell you something. First of all, you're popping, and you're bomb. I don't even know you. I don't even know what you look like. I don't even know. Listen, but let me tell you something. You're bomb as I would be your friend. But you would definitely have to get about this energy, because I would tell you about yourself. It's just why I'm here. I'm telling you about yourself. Don't sleep on yourself. Don't sleep on your abilities. Don't sleep on anything like that. Don't sleep on the aspects of yourself that you're avoiding. Like, I know it's hard to see it when you're in that mode, but you have so many amazing qualities, even if you have to write them down. Like, I don't think this card would have come out if you weren't cute as hell. I just don't. I just don't. So, definitely having more confidence in yourself outside of your work is going to play a big part. I feel like maybe some of you feel like that's your saving grace, is what your craft is and like who you are as a person. But you have so much more to you than just that. And that zero fox giving is really zero, you know what, giving. Like, we're not caring so much. Again, going back to the not caring, being like, I'm still trying to say the word inhibited. I'm giving up on it, but look it up and you'll see it, what I'm talking about. I'm going to put it down there. I think I'm going to put it, let me see. Yeah, I'm going to put it down below for y'all to be able to see the word, so you can look it up. Because that's how you want to be, like, just like in this liberation type mode, like freeing and not so confined to these spaces and these four walls. Like I said, with that 8 of Cups, like it's like you're in this room and you're like work. Like, no, work on go outside, you know. And then you got activate per mantra, and it says the power of meow. Aww. So for those of you, if you have a cat, I have a cat too. We could definitely be friends. Oh my goodness. If you have a cat, definitely spend more time with it. If you're thinking about getting a cat or kitten, whatever, definitely go for that if, you know, it's within reason for you. Because they're so healing. And not only that, but they don't give a fuck. Like, they don't care about the opinions of nothing and nobody. Of course, they love their owners and their sweetie pies and stuff like that. But I mean, like, when it comes to certain things, like, they don't know the difference between right and wrong unless you really, like, I think you really have to show a cat, like, listen, this is wrong, for them to know it's wrong. But it might take a couple times. Like, I know for me personally, our kitten is like, she know when stuff not for her. She know it. She's so freaking cute, though. Like, I just love her. I don't even want to talk about it right now. But anyway, like I was saying, back to the way the kittens are, and like, it says activate purr mantra. You think of the cat, and it's the healing that the purring sound makes. There's no scientific studies that back it, of course, but just the feeling of it, the vibration of a cat purring, it gives you a sense of calm and ease and comfort. And I feel like that's what a lot of you need. And I don't know why that massage just came back to me, but if that's something that is within reason for your budget or whatever, definitely get a massage, because I'm feeling like some tense energy come up. I've been feeling it the whole way, honestly, but with this activate per mantra card, and then the healing and the soothing way that, like, I know that's how I feel when I'm around my kitten. Like, she's just so healing, and I'm so blessed for her. So I'm just thinking of that, and how I know that we're all human and we all have some of the same qualities within us, a lot of the same qualities at the end of the day. So maybe that would be beneficial to you too. That's just me putting my little thought in here. But lastly, we have 3 different affirmation cards. You can either take them in, repeat them to yourself, or just take them in a moment. It doesn't really matter. It says, today I have faith. Today I have faith and truly believe that anything is possible. Today I will look ahead. Today I will see my future. It is a beautiful life I'm looking forward to. Today I feel good. Today I know deep down that I look good, feel good, and I am a good person. So, again, going back to what I was saying, especially with that Today I Feel Good card, going back to what I was saying about the and you're cute as hell. Listen, I feel like some of you really do feel like your work is like your saving grace. Like that is your thing and that's all you got. And it's not. It is so not what you, that's not all you have. First of all, there are so many qualities wrapped up in that hard work and determination that you have that like you don't, like you probably have an amazing ability to listen. And again, Queen of Swords, she's an effective communicator. So that means she can listen. She can speak her mind, but she can listen too. Whereas King of Swords is like, and I feel like maybe you get quiet because, or you are quiet, the quiet type because you feel like you're not worthy of being heard maybe, but you probably are extremely good at listening. You take direction well. You're very fair and you're like, especially when it comes to the business mentality, my stomach growling if y'all can hear it, y'all. I gotta eat after this pile. I don't know if it picked up or not on this mic, but either way, you have so many amazing qualities that hard work and determination are wrapped up in. So you definitely want to analyze and take a look at that. And maybe that'll be the breaking point for you to be like, you know what, I am really popping. Like, I'm really sleeping on myself right now. And then today I will look ahead. We'll see my future. It's a bright life I'm looking forward to. Again, the energy that I pulled for the way that you go about it with that Four of Cups energy, that's not really someone who is looking towards the future. They're kind of like looking at what they already have and they're saying like, I know something's missing. I can't put my finger on it. But with that Ten of Cups, remember I said if you were to just open yourself up some more, you'll see just how bright and how vivid and how colorful this world really is. If you just take a step back and actually, take that in. And then, of course, with having faith in yourself, having faith in God, prayer works. If you can't talk about it to yourself, talk about it to God. You know what I mean? He's always listening. He's always there. No matter what it is, the faith that you believe in, it really doesn't even matter. Like, at the end of the day, we all have one creator. So just speaking to that creator and having, life being poured into you and spoken into you and just being able to get it out of your system is definitely going to be important because you have a lot to look forward to. If you just put your mind to it, and you have a strong mind, like I was saying, you have amazing capabilities and qualities to you. But when it comes to taking care of yourself, get with those people that love and care about you, and I can guarantee you're going to feel so much being poured back into you. You won't even feel like you're pouring from an empty cup anymore. So, Pile 2, I thank you so much for being here. I pray that this resonates with you. If it does, please let me know down in the comments. You can like and subscribe as well. If you want to book a personal session with me, you can do so over on my website, www.theangelicmuse.com, or you can just go down to the description box below and click the link and it'll take you straight there. But thank you all so much for being here once again, and I pray you all enjoy the rest of your day or your night. Hey, Pile 3. So if you chose this turquoise crystal or silhouette, here is your reading. Oh, she fell. So I'm going to start. Why don't she stand up? Okay, you have to lay down, girl. The other ones were standing up. Anyway, getting into this, so I'm going to start with your tarot first, and then I'm going to get into your oracle cards. It is a lot of oracle cards, like I was telling the other piles. And the way that I did the tarot is that one pile is going to be how you go about your healing journey, your self-care, things of that nature. The other pile is going to go about how you, like, suggestions on and giving you clarity and insight on how you could maybe tweak that or improve it if you see fit. So I'm going to get into the tarot on how you go about your healing journey now. And for your first card, we have the Three of Swords. Second card, we have Eight of Wands in reverse. And then your third card, we have the King of Cups. Okay. So, it's interesting because you kind of give me the same vibes as pile 1, but not really. It's actually, this seems a bit more extreme than pile 1, though all of the piles, needed like some sort of suggestions on what they could do to improve, obviously, but this just gives me extreme. You go from the Three of Swords to like some sort of delay to the King of Cups, or like a full stop to the King of Cups. It gives me the feeling of someone who has a lot of emotional turmoil inside, someone who deals with a lot of disappointment, or at least it feels that way. There's a lot of healing work that needs to be done here. However, it's almost, again, like power, like I was saying, it's almost avoidant, but it's not. It's a bit more extreme, because you think of the Eight of Wands upright, it's a very fast moving card. So for it to be in reverse, this is like a full stop almost. It feels that way. Like someone who kind of masks their problems or pretends like they don't have any to begin with, in hopes that something or someone or just some sort of something will happen to propel them into this King of Cups energy. Now you think of the King of Cups energy, that's someone who's very in tune with his emotions. He's very like sure of himself and what it is that he's feeling. Whereas the Three of Swords, things can get a bit scattered, and you know, you got a lot of anxiety in there and just depression and sadness. Whereas the King of Cups is more balanced and in tune and understanding that, you know, the emotions flow and they come and they go and they're fleeting, and you know, but the Three of Swords gives me like this stuck energy. So the way you seem to go about your self-care practices is, if, like I said, like you don't have them, like you don't have problems, like you don't have issues, but you know you do, and outwardly, and people can see that. People can see that, and maybe there are opportunities that are presented to you that you don't take advantage of. Like maybe someone will ask you like, hey, what's wrong? You say nothing. No, I'm okay. You know, like that kind of thing. That's the energy I'm getting from this pile here. Like you pretend like everything is all good, but it doesn't seem like you have much that will mask. And that's why I said it's similar to pile one, but pile one was typically like kind of avoiding their emotions with work. Yours seems to bombard you. Like you can't even hide the fact that you're going through something. And it seems like you don't even try to, and this isn't a knock, it's just the way I'm reading the cards. It seems like you don't try to do anything to get yourself out of it, because you're so uncomfortably comfortable in that position. And by that, I mean, like, you don't like it for yourself, but you also don't know which way to go. You don't know which way is up, because your mind, between your mind and your emotions, it's like it just all seems like it's all over the place. And I really feel for you. I don't know your exact situation. I know for everyone it's going to be different, since this is a general reading, but whatever it is that has you feeling that way, or in that bout of confusion or emotional turmoil, is definitely something that needs to be picked apart and analyzed, and it's worthy of that. Whether you feel like it in your mind, or you feel like it's small or not, it obviously, based on these cards, it's big, or it's becoming like this spirally type. It's snowballing. That's what it is. It's a snowball, and it's going to eventually like cause an avalanche of some sort of emotions if it's not dealt with. And it seems like it all hits you at once at times. And I can see why that would be overwhelming, because that would be overwhelming to anyone who is unfamiliar with the techniques and the tools and the resources and the habits that they could formulate in order to break free from that. It can become overwhelming to the point where you feel like you're smaller than the problem. But you're not. I want to tell you that now. That's just me speaking. You're not. And I tell you that from experience. I don't like to make these readings about myself. If I need to throw myself in there every now and then, I will, because it's my channel. I'm going to do what I want. But, because I know there's some people who kind of get shit about that. But no, we going to talk like we, you know, we human. We doing our thing over here. Anyway. I'm not making it about myself, but I am saying I can totally understand that, because I've been there before too, and you are not alone in that. And I'm pretty sure you probably have heard that before, and you know, that's fine, but that just makes it all the more true, so that it doesn't make you feel like you're in this world or in this life or in this experience by yourself, because you're not. But I will say this, with this King of Cups being upright too, I do feel like that is something, even though you try to fast track your way to it, that is something that you will, with the right steps, with the right practices formulated and everything, habits formulated, you will get there. Because it's upright and it's the end of it. It's like you're striving to get there, but you almost want something to intervene or something to happen so that maybe you don't have to do all the work or the work at all. Maybe it's just so overwhelming. You're just like, I just want to leave this alone completely complete. Somebody please come save me, please. You know, like, and I'm not laughing at you. I'm laughing because I get it, child. Like, I really, really get it. You're like, oh my God, I can't. I get it. But, you know, with time and with practice, you will learn what works for you, just as I have, just as the next person has, and they will open up a new book for you, and you'll be able to turn the page into a new chapter of your life, and you will be able to look back at these moments, be thankful that you got this far with that person that you were. Thank her or him for how long they've gotten you through this journey. But now you can move into this King of Cups energy where you're like, oh, now I can pass this on to whoever, you know, may need to hear it or whatever the case may be, because you will. Trust that. So I'm going to get into your, how you, like your suggestions, any clarity or whatever could be input for you to, like, you know, just kind of elevate from this energy that you're currently in. So for your first card, you have the Six of Cups. Second card, you have Ace of Pentacles. And your third card is the Page of Cups. Okay. All right. Wait a minute now. So, here's a suggestion, and here is what I'm reading with these cards. You got the Six of Cups for your first card. You know, the Six of Cups is all about, like, give and take. It's all about sharing with others, like, from an emotional standpoint. Like, being able to open up and express yourself. And you think sixes, you think of like just balancing something out or like harmony of some sort. So this could be you sharing your story with others that are like there to support you, that are there to nurture you, that are there to help you grow and learn from these experiences. You know, that could be as simple as you having a talk session with someone, or maybe even like reading like self-help books. I don't know why that came to me. Reading self-help books, because that's a balance of give and take. You know, it's more so the book giving to you and you taking from it. But I think at this point, that's what you need, because you're so depleted of your energy in other areas that you need something that's just going to give to you. So like, whereas with a person or even a therapist of some sort, you know, they do give you insight, and you take that, but you're not really giving anything to them other than, you know, maybe payment, or if your insurance covers it, then nothing, you know, but just different things like that. It's just something that's pouring into you. I'm noticing every cup on here is full, and they're all like, I mean, this is a happy deck to begin with, but they're all full cups. You want to fill your cup at this time, and by doing that, like, I understand here, like I was saying, it feels like you want something to come in and save you. I don't feel like this is so much a saving thing. Like, even you reading books, even you going to therapy, this isn't anything saving you. This is you saving yourself. You are your own person. You are your own hero at the end of the day. You know, you'll find a lot of times in life that, you know, though we have support systems, we have friends, we have family, things of that, if you do or if you don't, nobody saves you at the end of the day like you save yourself. And I think it's time that you understand your power. And with these suggestions here, I feel like this is kind of like honoring that part of you. Like, say, for example, with the Ace of Pentacles, it's very slow compared to the Eight of Wands in reverse, honestly. The Eight of Wands, like I said, is delays. Where the Ace of Pentacles, it's forward movement, but it's slow movement. So it's taking it like baby steps and just like picking apart and analyzing what can I start with first. Like, I know all of this seems overwhelming to me right now, but what is the smallest thing that I can start with, and I can grow and build from that. You think Ace of Pentacles is all about investments. You think of an investment, think of like bank accounts, like when you invest or stocks, when you put a certain amount of money in there, you double it, you triple it, you quadruple it, things of that nature. And that is what's going to end up happening here when you just start small. You don't take on the whole giant. You take on a small part of it, and then, you know, you kind of like break it down, and then you eventually conquer and defeat it. With this Page of Cups here, this is all about like curiosity, and honestly it's about honoring your intuition too, because, you know, though you have this Three of Swords energy where it can lead to a lot of clouded judgment, I think if you get quiet and you get real with yourself and who you are and your power, then you'll be able to step into this. Now, it is starkly, it's not, I won't say starkly, but it's a Page of Cups, whereas over here you have the King. The King, again, it feels like rushed energy, like you just want everything to be done and over with. And I think what this is saying is, listen, we all got to start somewhere. And this is your point of starting, which is the Page, the one who's curious, the one who doesn't know much, but who's still willing to learn, as opposed to over here where you want the work to be done for you. And again, like I said, this is not a slight. I get it. Because like sometimes you just want shit to be done and over. You're like, when is it going in? You know what I mean? But the thing about it is, it will end as soon as you start. That's when it'll end. When you start sharing yourself or sharing your story, not to the world, but just to people that you can confide in. Or even if it is like, again, like reading books that make you understand yourself more, that help you to understand yourself more, or under other people more. Because sometimes, you know, what's in our minds isn't always the reality of the situation. That's just our perspective on the situation. But you think, what happens after the Three of Swords, the Four of Swords, where there's a period of rest and there's a period of recovery, and the person in the Rider-Waite deck is actually sleeping, or they're resting at least. They're not even factoring in anybody or anything but themselves. And I think that what this is saying to you is that you have to really get real in knowing who you are outside of your experiences, outside of what has happened to you, outside of like the hurt, outside of the pain. Who are you when you're not hurt? Who are you when you're not upset or sad or feeling like the world is like the weight of the world is on your shoulders? Who are you really? The Page of Cups is very curious. The Page of Cups is very like, oh, I don't know I did that, but like I was thinking like someone who is open to surprises, like someone who is open to a different way of life, open to being curious, and like, I don't want to say, I was going to say nosy, but like, I mean, you can kind of be nosy and curious to like, what's over there? Like, how can I do it this way? Let me try it this way instead of that way. Like, they're very open, you know what I mean? And I feel like this is your call to that, whether it's a bit slower in nature than you're used to. It's fine, because you're going to learn so much along the way, especially with it being a pentacle here. Pentacles are things you can see, touch, taste, feel, whatever. Like, you think tangible things. So with you feeling a certain way inside, you'll start to grow an appreciation for things on the outside world that you didn't have an appreciation for before. Like, it could be the smallest thing, and you're going to be like, oh my gosh, like, I did not look at that way before I began my healing journey. But now I'm looking at it with fresh eyes, and this one small thing is this grand thing to me. Like, it could be anything. I don't want to be, like, specific, but just anything. Like, I'll just give one example. So, like, anything. Like, say you start out with walking or something. And you take your walks where you can kind of like draw back and honor your thoughts, honor what comes to you, whatever the case may be. You'll start looking at something as simple as a walk as a life-changing moment. Like, I don't know why I just thought about this, but I remember I made a video back on like EMDR therapy and like the experiences I had with that, and how the lady had actually invented it. That lady literally just went on a walk. She was stressed out. She went for a walk, and from that she created EMDR. Like, well, it was a whole lot that went into it, but she was able to come up with EMDR therapy. That is a form of therapy that still goes on to this day. She did that years and years and years ago, and her name is credited to that. Like, that's who like pretty much invented it. You know what I mean? But it's something as simple as a walk, and you finding so much joy and contentment with it, whereas someone who isn't appreciative of the little things wouldn't really see that. So that's just what I'm getting from your tarot cards. Just being more like not minding going slow, and still just kind of taking in what's going on around you, because you'll find like there's so much in the little things that you wouldn't be aware of if you were just to like fast track through it. So now we're going to get into your oracle cards here. Like I said, it's a lot. So we're going to start out with your big ones. So you have stay open, set sail, and surrender. You'll receive more intuitive guidance and more co-creative assistance from spirit if you surrender now. Stop paddling, put up your oars, and let the river take you. Stay open to unexpected bends in the river guiding you to the perfect port. Don't strategize, just recognize divine direction. Master intuition by staying open-minded. Again, Page of Cups energy. This is staying open-minded to what could be. You know, don't stay so closed off or feel like, oh, there's only one way to get to this destination with this King of Cups, and that's if I ignore it or if I just wait for something to come in and change. You know, sometimes you have to be the change you want to see. But this is also saying to surrender. So whether you're doing, like, I feel like a lot of you, if you're, for a lot of you, I feel like you're waiting for this thing to happen. Sorry, y'all, I had a phone call. So, like I was saying, for a lot of you, I feel like you're kind of waiting for this thing to happen. But for some of you, I feel like you're maybe scatterbrained. So you're like, what you're doing is causing the delay. So like being avoidant or just being, I don't want to say like cold, but maybe some of you are being cold about the situation. You feel like maybe that is me being avoidant or me setting a boundary of some sort. Like, but setting boundaries really doesn't have anything to do with being cold towards a person. You know, I feel like that is maybe something that some people have it in their mind where they think, oh, if I just cut these people off, or if I just don't deal with this at all, then I'll eventually get to the finish line. But it's like, no, sometimes you actually have to address that problem. And sometimes you will deal with disappointments in people and things that need to be talked out or need to be discussed in order to get down to the bottom of it. Or else you'll just be going through the same cycle with a different person or things of that nature. So this is just saying surrender to what is and what, like, just be open to flowing with through your emotions and be open to what comes up when you actually are presented with that emotion. And not in a way where you're like, oh, I'm so welcoming of it, but in a way where you're accepting of it. Like, because you got to accept the good and the bad. We can't just be, like, open to all the goodness, and then when the disappointment comes, we're like, oh no, I don't want nothing to do with that. It's like, no, that's a part of the journey. You know what I mean? And I feel like it's saying that, and then even there it says you'll receive more intuitive guidance. Back to what I was saying with the Page of Cups. She's a very intuitive person, a very in tune with their emotions, in tune with what's going on around them, their feelings, and they are open to more downloads. So, and that would be you in this case. You know, if you heeded that suggestion of just not feeling like you got to fast track your way through. So, your next card says create open space. Balance just being with doing. Emphasize arriving over striving now. Giving to-do lists and goal setting a rest. Wait, let me read that over. It says balance just being with doing. Emphasize arriving over striving now. Giving to-do lists and goal setting a rest. I was saying giving to-do lists and goal setting a rest. Okay, I was like, what? When your schedule is very crowded, it crowds out your intuition. Going back to that. Create open space by squeezing minutes or even hours into your day with nothing pre-planned. Then let your intuition set the agenda. There's power in pauses. So going back to what I was saying, like you feel like maybe there's only one way for you to get to this King of Cups energy. It's like you, and for some of you, maybe you do crowd your schedule with things to keep your mind off of it, but it doesn't really help or work. And not only that, but you feel like you always have to do this, do that, do this, do that. And all the while, you're still waiting for something to come in and save you from this whole thing. You know, I really do get that. Like, it's not like in a lazy way. It's just like you're doing whatever it is that you feel is right and hoping it works out. Whereas there is a right way to go about it on your path. It's just that you're not open to seeing it because you're too busy doing everything. You know, you're not taking that pause moment to just be still and say, okay, I've been doing the same thing over and over and over again in the same way over and over and over again. Or maybe you might tweak it just a little bit, but the bigger important factors aren't being shifted, or they're not being changed. Like, you keep your big, like the grand point, like whatever. Remember what I was saying about the boundaries and like how some people think that's just cutting people off. That's not it. But maybe you'll change like the smaller things, but you'll keep those big rules. And it's like those big things are what need the change there. That's where you're going to see the real shift happening. But until you actually take that moment to pause and realize that that is the thing that's not working for you, you kind of stay stuck in the same energy where it's crowded with your own emotions and thoughts about it, and not really factoring in others or other solutions. So, and then your last one says, discern your gut instinct. The first strong intuitive hit you receive about a person, situation, or place can be a foreshadow, like a glimpse of hindsight. Gut instincts that remain consistent over time are especially worth heeding. Don't allow others or yourself to talk you out of your gut instincts. Avoid overthinking and prioritize gut health. Yes, first of all, gut health is very important, and I'm starting to learn that too, and that goes down to the things that we eat. And I told the other piles this as well. Make sure what you are eating and putting in your body is of substance, and it's not like lower vibrational, and like whatever that means to you, because it'll be different for everybody. Like everything low vibrational, what is not going to be the same thing to the other person. So definitely be discerning about that. But on a more spiritual level, like it was talking about your gut instinct, and then, you know, you just having those intuitive hits, whether it be about a person or a thing. So this goes back to what I was saying about like you having one way to go about things. So, and going back to the boundaries example, so say for example you have this great person, however that great person, like you meet them and you're aligned, but you still have to learn more about each other. And they may do something that doesn't align with where you're at. So instead of you like having that conversation with them, you just cut them off. This is just an example. It could be a number of different things. But it's like, no, you weren't supposed to cut them off. You were supposed to actually have the conversation with them. Because in your gut, maybe you felt like this person was right for you, or like this person is a good fit for you as a friend or a partner, whatever the case may be. But because that one thing didn't happen, you're like, oh no, I'm just going to ignore my gut and I'm going to cut them off. That's just an example. It could be a number of different things, but just ignoring those feelings that you get when it comes to a person. And that could be on the flip side too. Like if you're around people you know are negatively impacting you, or they're not saying or doing the right things, or you're partaking in things that are not right for you, and you know it in your mind, in your gut, you know it, but you just won't allow yourself to get out of that comfort zone. That will definitely be a hindrance to you as well, obviously. But like it says, it's a glimpse of hindsight. And, you know, hindsight is always 20/20. And, you know, sometimes there will be moments in life where we look back at things and say, oh, I could have, should have, would have, did this. But then there are other moments where you can kind of beat that. Be proactive rather than reactive. Whereas, you know, proactive is when you kind of pre-plan and you know, like, okay, this may come up. Let me know what to do in the future. Whereas when you actually get there, that's more reactive, where you, like, go off on a whim and you just do what you feel like you're instinctively told to. Something of that nature. It's all about being practical and really, really taking the time out to, like I said, pick apart. Even if it's the slower road, the slower route. And this is really, like I said, if you were drawn to Power One, I gave them the example of the tortoise and the hare, and I will do the same here, where, you know, you think of the tortoise and the hare and how the tortoise was moving really slow, but they still got to the finish line before the hare, even though the hare was like going faster and faster and faster. That they took it to the point where he was like so tired. He was like, I'm taking a nap. I'm good. I don't see nobody. And then that tortoise ends up laughing him. So this is the slower route, but there's also a lot more to learn along the journey. You'll find out so much more about yourself, parts of you that you didn't even know were there, because your judgment has been so clouded by this Three of Swords energy, where you've been operating from a place of depression or sadness or hurt or bitterness even, or anger. Like, you know, just not conducive places that you want to release from you. So now we're going to get into your self-care oracle. So your first card, you have Connect with Fire. Connect with Fire. You have Drink Tea. And then you have Chanting. So listen, with this Connect with Fire, I automatically thought of doing like some sort of burn ritual. They are surrounded by a bonfire, a campfire. So whether you do this as a collective, like with friends or family or whoever, or you do this alone, it doesn't really matter. But you just want to write out everything that you want to get rid of. Fire is the fastest like element. So it's very quick, obviously. Writing out everything that you want to get rid of within yourself, as far as like the hurt, the pain, the anger, and things of that nature, writing it down on paper and burning it and setting the intention that you, not even just writing it, but really having it in your mind that you really don't want any parts of it anymore, because it's not it. You can thank your past self for the journey. However, like it's we've come to the point where we need to disconnect and separate. And I love you anyway, but I want to move on to better, greener pastures. I feel like this is you really getting rid of, and not only that, but fire is usually typically fear. You think of all the other elements. Now, you will find some people who are afraid of water, like especially big bodies of water. But there are some people who are afraid of like candles, like just the smallest flame. Like they don't even want any parts of it. So that has like a bigger impact, but it's a smaller element as opposed to the other elements like earth and air and water. And I just think of, maybe you're fearful of your fire. Maybe you're fearful of that power within you. But this is a time for you to really connect with that. Like really, really be able to, like, even, they say you can actually watch a flame. Like there are patterns in the way that the flame burns, and just being able to, it's a certain way you can scry. I know scrying typically deals with like the black, like black obsidian, or like just that black mirror. But you can actually do that and see things through fire as well. So if that's something that you're interested in, or even if you're fearful of your own fire, just being able to look within yourself and pull out the highlights within you, that will greatly benefit you. Pull out the greater things in you, the more powerful things in you, the things in you that you're so fearful of, but you know that they will liberate you in the end. And then with this Drink Tea card, I'm thinking of, as fast as that fire was, this Drink Tea reminds me of that Ace of Pentacles energy when I said just slowing down. Because you think of the process of just making tea. You got to get the water, and then you got to get the honey, the lemons, and you got to get the tea that you want. And, just even the process of putting tea bags together and mixing the herbs together, things of that nature. It's a very intricate and it's a very detailed process. It's very slow. But in the end, you come up and you have this big cup, not big, but whatever size cup of tea that you want. Now you got to wait for it to cool down. But you also got to taste it before so you can make sure it tastes right. It's a lot of tweaking that needs to be done in the process of making tea. And I think even you literally physically going to make a cup of tea, you'll notice that process and see, in the end, you come out with this thing that you really took your time to make and create, and it's blended just perfectly for you, and it tastes really good, and you're able to enjoy it sip by sip and really savor the moment. It's a very intentional act, and I think that this is just saying, like, you need to be very intentional in every part of your life. Even if you go, I don't know what your birth chart looks like, but even if you were to just go ahead and analyze that, if you get into that type of thing, analyzing your birth chart and like looking at the really minor details and like what makes you you. Like that way when things come up, okay, this is just a part of who I am at my core. And, as far as navigating through this life, if I know that about myself, I know that when X, Y, and Z comes up, this is how I may be susceptible to reacting to it. But again, I want to be proactive. So what can I do before I even get there? That kind of thing. And then lastly, with this Chanting card, she does seem to be meditating. And it's crazy because she has lotuses Look, she has like lotuses on her in her hands. Not really, they're like floating, but still. And you think of a lotus, and I love lotuses and their meaning and symbolism and how like they come up beautiful out of like these muddy waters, like these you wouldn't even think they would come out of, and they're so bright and so vibrant. And I feel like that's you at your core. Once you get out of this mud, you know, or pull yourself up out of it, and you allow yourself to grow into the person and the being that you're supposed to be, because you're not supposed to be this hardened, sad, and angry person that, you know, you can be at times. And it's not like, maybe you're not outwardly like that to people, but you definitely are like that to yourself, you know. And it starts with you and how you take care of you first. That's going to set the tone for everybody else you come in contact with. Even when it comes to these boundaries, then it's like, I don't know why that kept coming to me, but maybe you really are the type to do that. Like, you think cutting someone off is a boundary, so you're really hard on yourself, so you're hard on other people, and that does tend to happen. But this is the time for you to really just get back to yourself, honoring yourself. And I think I was telling, was that Pile too? They had like a sweet on the back of their affirmation, like, you know, that sound you make when you're meditating. And I think that's like third eye crown chakra energy, if I'm not mistaken correctly. But it says chanting. So chanting kind of just reminds me of like, obviously getting back with yourself and centering yourself, but also some people aren't comfortable doing that. So I think this is, again, you getting out of your comfort zone. They think they sound silly when they do it. Like, I know I kind of think I sound silly sometimes, but I'm still going to do it anyway. You know, it's about just kind of pushing past those moments where you feel like, okay, I might look silly doing this, or maybe out of my comfort zone, but I know what's been in my comfort zone hasn't been working for me so long, so I got to change something. Like that kind of energy. So, lastly, we have they're upside down. We have your inner peace oracle. This one says, like a jelly donut full of peace, find your fucking center. It says that I ain't cursed. Listen, y'all know I be cursing sometimes, but it really says find you. These things got curse words on them, y'all. It says, like a jelly donut full of peace, find your fucking center. And you think of, even if you think of a jelly donut and how all around it is like the donut and the dough, whatever, but on the center of it, the jelly, like there's a place for that jelly. So I think this is saying, find your place. Find your spot in life. Find where it is that you're comfortable. Not uncomfortably comfortable, but simply comfortable being yourself, and honor that and go with that. Like, don't doubt that part, because I mean, though, you know, we do want to sometimes get out of our comfort zones. Right now, I feel like you're so far removed from it that you actually need to find yours. Like, you're like the opposite here. And this is about just finding peace. And once you find yourself, you'll find that peace, because you won't have, and nothing will be able to shake that. It'll be like immovable almost, because you're the type, I feel like you're tired of being here. I really, really do. Even though it's uncomfortably comfortable, I feel like a big part of you is extremely tired of being here. Like, so then you have seriously, and then it says, a wise woman once said, fuck this shit, and she lived happily ever after. A wise woman once said, fuck this shit, and lived happily ever after. And I really, like, I'm telling you, like, I think you really gotta put your foot down on this shit. Like, you know what? This shit is not even as big as I'm making it, bro. Like, and it's not to minimize the act of it, but it's like to say, why do I allow it to have so much power over me? Like, yeah, it happened. Yes, it's disappointing. Yes, it hurts. It doesn't seem like it's fair right now, but let me tell you something. The way life works out for people in the end, when they really strive to push past those doubts, those insecurities, it always ends up in their favor. Like, it always does. Like, there's literally, you'll find, you may be the type to compare yourself to people who like outwardly have it all, or like they're very comfortable, or so it seems. But I can guarantee you, we all have our shit with us, for one. Let me say that. And for two, And I don't mean shit like we all fucked up or something like that. But I'm just saying we all have our moments where we have obstacles and stuff. So nobody's life is perfect. I don't give a goddamn what people make it look like on social media, on TV, in the news, on the internet, whatever the case may be. I don't care what it looks like. Sometimes you really got to get to a point where you say, I'm not comparing myself. This is no longer going to have power over me. I'm better than this. I'm bigger than this. I am beyond this. You know what I mean? You really got to take your power back and be like, you know what? Seriously, fuck this shit. You know? You really got to do that sometimes. And it's not the easiest thing to do, no. But it's so worth it in the end, because you'll find that once you are able to release it, it's really not that big. And even it actually takes the load off. Like, imagine carrying all this load of hurt and trauma and pain on you for so long. You're like, you know what? Fuck it. Fuck it. I'm done. Like, I'm done. I don't want this for myself anymore. But you have to be serious about it. Saying it is not enough. Really acting upon it and saying, you know what? God gave me this life. I'm blessed to be here. I'm blessed to have it. And I no longer want to take advantage of it in ways unknowingly to me. Because in a sense, though, you know, you're not outwardly trying to take advantage of anything, the more you sit and wallow away in that pain and wait for something to change on its own, or not, or just become avoidant and think that you're just going to be in this King of Cups energy the whole time, like, or you feel like you look like that, the more you do yourself a disservice and the more you take advantage of your own time. That's the point I'm trying to make. So then your last one says, live in the sunshine, swim the sea, and drink the wild air. Get your sweet ass outside. All the piles got something about getting outside. So, I mean, listen, let me tell you something. It's wintertime here in Jersey, so it's a little cold. It's been cold these last couple days, so can't really make the excuse for it. But I know I need to take my ass outside a little bit, too. I mean, I go outside every now and then, but like for walking, this is what this is calling you to do. Take a walk. It says, live in the sunshine, swim the sea, and drink the wild air. Drink the wild air is crazy, okay? Because you can't drink air, but I think it's saying really take deep breaths and inhale and, you know, take it all in and be receptive. And again, like with the Page of Cups, just curious to what it is that you will find outside. You know, when you stay in this box in, closed off mentality and mindset and way of living and way of life, and you stay cooped up on the inside thinking like, okay, I'm safe here. It's like, no, you have so much. There's so much expansion outside, and not even like outside in particular. Yes, you do need air, but just being around people, just being in other environments, trying a new spot, trying a new place, you know, things of that nature. And just taking in, even with the sun, there's so many like elements we can take advantage of, but the sun, the vitamin D in the sun, are just facing the sun and allowing the warmth to hit you, because it does feel very cold over here. It feels very closed off, very dark, very sheltered over here. Whereas over here it's so colorful and expansive. And I feel like the message to you here is that you can save yourself. Though nobody will save you, you can save you. Nobody else will save you. You can save you. You have the capabilities and the power to save yourself. And then lastly, I have 3 affirmation cards. You can either repeat them to yourself or just take them in for the moment now. It says, today I choose. Today I will only surround myself with people who support me. Today I will breathe. Today, as I face challenges, I will call a mental timeout. I will consciously breathe with my eyes closed and focus on slowing my inhalation and exhalation. And then you have, today I'm resourceful. Today I will turn anything into an opportunity. And you know what's crazy about the last 2? I actually made shorts on those 2. And now, if you see the deck for this, there's so many cards in here. I don't know how many it is. Let me see. Let me see if it tells me. It don't tell me how many cards it is, but listen, it's a lot. And I got the 2 that I actually put out in my reels. I mean, not my reels. My YouTube shorts. I posted those 2 days ago. And I don't think it's without reason. I think that you definitely are here for a reason, but that's crazy. I don't believe in coincidences either. It's interesting how those two cards came out, and those I just started posting the affirmations, and those were two that I actually posted days ago. So definitely, 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 you want to be able to breathe, and not only that, call that mental time out when you need to. It's okay to slow down. You can. I know you can't really turn your mind off and your thoughts, but you can control what you think about. And I'm not saying go and distract yourself with other things, but I'm saying on the flip side of those adversities, there is strength in them. On the flip side of those struggles, there is overcoming obstacles in them. You know what I mean? Like, there's so much to be taken in. Like, don't look at all of the negatives. Like, even if it's something like a heartbreak, like somebody like doing you wrong or something like that. And I'm not saying it is, but I'm just using any example I can, like a heartbreak. You know, just be thankful that essentially, though it is painful in the moment, you did dodge a bullet, because think of how you would be years and years down the line with someone who ultimately is not right with you and doesn't align with you. You know, things of that nature. Or say if it's just nothing, like say you're going for a job and it goes to someone else or something like that. That just means there's something better for you out there. It's all about rewiring your mind, not taking the experience and minimizing it, but minimizing how much you allow it to affect you. And, you know, choosing to surround yourself with people that support you. Like I said, with that campfire, whether you do that burning ritual with yourself or people that genuinely love and care about you, that will definitely bring you all closer. And not even just that, but just being around them in general. So if you're not telling yourself kind things, get around people who do, or who can pour into you, because you can't pour into yourself. You know, or take advantage of resources that are around you that can help you to change your mindset. YouTube is free. There's so many different videos on here, because I understand financially times aren't what they used to be for people. And you know, so, but there's so much public knowledge to ways like to self-help yourself. And then, like I said in my short, it says, today I'm resourceful, I will turn anything into an opportunity. Like I was saying, it's all about how, your perspective and how you are perceiving the thing, and taking advantage of every opportunity, even if it is uncomfortable, in order to create something for yourself with it that works for you. So, Pile 3, I thank you so much for being here. I pray that this resonates with you. If it does, please let me know down in the comments. You can like and subscribe as well. If you'd like to book a personal session with me, you can head over to my website, www.theangelicmuse.com. Or you can simply go down to the description box below and click the link there, and you'll be able to book it that way. So, I thank you all so much for being here, and I pray you enjoy the rest of your day or your night.